Hey everybody, Tom Barnes Stories from the 78 here in Chicago, talking about something that has a worldwide phenomenon. That's why I'm talking to my friend Alejandro. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, and you know what? It's amazing that I can talk to you in relation to buying something from a universe that doesn't technically exist, but the house does in Stranger Things, the Buyer house, and people can buy that on a app that you or a site app, what have you, that you co-founded yourself called Arrived. Correct?
Right. Yep, that's correct.
All right. So first of all, talk about Arrived in general, because you have like a lot of homes on there or places people can rent, and with I think a roster of like $100 million worth of things that you have. So talk about that really quick, and then we'll dive into the buyer's house that people can purchase.
Sounds great. Yeah. So Arrived, it's a platform for buying fractional shares of rental property, starting at $100. So somebody goes in, they buy shares, and then they start earning rental income, and then their share of property value appreciation. So we started Arrived in 2020, and so far we've done over 300 rental homes and about 40 vacation rentals.
That's incredible. And in buying shares, so I imagine, is it capped at $100, or is that just the minimum? You can also buy more.
That's the minimum. So our properties will have between, two, 300 to up to 1,000 investors going into properties. And, some will be more in the two, $300,000, starter home range. And then we'll also have some vacation rentals that are maybe a million and a half that has a lot more investors. But yeah, the 100 is the minimum.
And somehow you guys got your hands on this buyer's house, right? So you get the house and you're looking for investors now. People can go to a waiting list to sign up for this, and then they'll get alerted of when these shares are available. But the shares, talk about like what goes into the money that the shares will get you. I know it has to do with cost and basically making the inside of the house, which was probably filled on a set somewhere, resemble the what people have seen in Stranger Things according to the outside of the house, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we basically bought the property when it came up for sale. And what we've been working on right now is some basic renovations just to bring it up to a safe, standard where people could go and visit. This house, I think it was built in, 1895 or over 100 years old. So it's
Oh
a very
wow.
old house. And till now we focused on just the basic renovations. And then the next step is really how do we create an interior that pays homage to the show and really tries to replicate the vibe seen in the set. As you mentioned, the TV show was filmed in a studio. The house served as the exterior shots, so a lot of the exterior shots going into the shed, the front of the house, that's where it's filmed, but we want to recreate the inside so that you get that same vibe of visiting the show, the alphabet wall, all the things that us fans fell in love with when the show came out.
Yeah, you just mentioned the alphabet wall, which I think is probably one of the most iconic moments from that entire series where the lights are lighting up. And I mean, actually just rewatching season one. So
Nice.
to be able to talk to you about it is great. And, also Jonathan's bedroom where, the Clash was playing, and that's a scene throughout. But my curiosity has me at: are you guys even going to replicate something with the hole in the wall, or just replicate the fact that it was right here is where the hole was in the show?
So that's what we're going through right now. And one of the reasons why we wanted to announce this early on before this property is ready to stay is we just want to get other fans involved so we can make those decisions. So we have over 2,000 fans that have joined the project. And, we're posting polls and saying, like, hey, what do you all think about this versus that? And helping really make something that ultimately is going to be owned by fans like us. And we want them involved in that creation. There's a lot of budgetary questions, right? Like, hey, do you invest in this much or that much in these areas? Like, what adds value? So those decisions are ultimately what we're currently making now. Like, at what stage do we invest and what things do we do? So yeah.
And this is in a spot in Georgia, Fayetteville. Is that right? Georgia, 6 acre lot where you can go to Castle Byers. Did I read right? Billy's grave is also on the property that you can check out.
Yeah, so we're, it's a very big lot, and what we'd love to do over time is just continue to develop it and really, add all these fun installations that are part of the Stranger Things universe. I mean, initially, the things that we're designing right now is Castle Byers, which I
Mhm.
think plays a really cool part in that first season, sorry, and then Billy's grave. Then there's things like the Munson trailer from other seasons that we could
Oh yeah.
potentially add down the line. And so yeah, we're scoping it out. We also want to make a track for BMX bike riding, because in that season they're riding all over. Actually, in all the seasons, right? They're riding around in BMX tracks. So we thought it'd be fun to be able to ride around the property. So yeah, it's very much a inside experience, but also outside experience. And how do we do that in a safe way, but also a way that is true to the show?
So is this the first in the roster of like famous houses like this from like a TV show like Stranger Things? Do you guys have other houses that are from movies or other shows?
So we love the idea of being able to create something that fans will not only be able to travel to, but also own. And I think that's what's exciting about this one, that ultimately, not only can fans travel there, but they're going to be able to own that. This house is not going to be owned by any corporation in the future, right? It's going to be entirely fan owned. And we think that that model really could expand to a lot of different brands and TV shows. I think the important thing is finding a home that one, we could create a really cool experience, but also that it's within budget and not crazy. We've seen a couple of houses come up for sale, the original Godfather house or the Brady Bunch house, and they were millions of dollars. And we also want this to be a good investment for the people buying the shares. So we have to find that balance.
Yeah, and you got to find the balance, strike the chord. I mean, I will just throw my 2 cents in there: the Nightmare on Elm Street house out in California, or perhaps even the camp counselor whole experience for Nightmare for Friday the 13th. I
Ooh,
mean, I know that there hasn't been a movie made in a
good.
while, but I do know that that campsite is still available. They do tours and stuff there, so something to put your food for thought for your next
We love
project.
it. Yeah, that's great.
So how many people are you looking for to invest in this particular property? Starting at $100 a share and whatnot. How many total?
So for this home, given the interest we've seen, we're probably gonna have to put a max investment on the property. So it'll be $100 minimum, but so that everybody is able to participate, we're probably gonna have some max investment where traditionally our properties will have a $40,000 max, but I think we'll have to take that down. I think with a couple of hundred folks, if not a thousand or so, we should be able to get this funded. A lot of times properties on our platform, they'll sell out in a few minutes. So
Mhm.
really, we're not anticipating any difficulty in funding the home. It's really about, hey, how do we find folks that are really going to appreciate it? How do we find the fans that will get excited about it? And that's why, a lot of what we're doing now, just, announcing the project, we've got a Reddit community going where people can get involved. How do we get those right folks involved?
And in terms of just the investment with people that get to do this, if they're lucky enough, I know you're going to have a wait list, right? So when will people find out about that? And then what do you get outside of the shares? You get like a chance to visit the property? Do you get a chance to stay there? How does that whole thing work?
Yeah, so we're anticipating that the renovation is going to be done about, midsummer, so maybe like June-ish. And at that point, really anybody's going to be able to book travel to it. We're going to place a property on Airbnb so that anybody can go in, book their night stay. We obviously have a lot of fans that have already requested to book, and once that Airbnb is up, we'll be emailing that to all the investors and saying like, hey, we'd love to have you go visit there, give us ideas. What can we improve? What vinyl records can we add to that shelf, right? It's about the small details that make it a really great experience. So yeah, we're hoping that summer it'll be ready and accepting travelers.
And for people who want to learn more about this, get information about the waiting room, the wait list, I should say, what's the website you want people to go to for all this fun stuff?
So arrive.com is our website, and we'll send over the link. I think it's arrive.com/the Byers house, but we'll share that link so anybody can go sign up. And we'll notify folks that sign up for at Arrived whenever we go on to that next phase of both funding and then being able to travel to the property.
Awesome. Alejandro, thank you so much for taking time to chat with me and to talk about Arrived and for people to buy their very own little slice of the Stranger Things universe. Very cool.
Thank you so much for the time, Tom.